Cool. Let me make sure I'm spelling things right. Okay. Ready? Okay, phones away. Devices can be at 45. We're going to start giving our next example. Okay. So, I have titled this activity location, location, location. We are basically thinking about locations. So, looking at our learning intention, we're going to be identifying a potential job. So, in a moment, you guys will take the imaginary job that you have researched and see where you can find employment. And you're also going to think about where you would like to live in Auckland. And what we're going to do is we're going to see how far those two locations are so we can research what are the time costs and the monetary costs to getting to and from work every day. So I will do a teacher example, and then you guys will be able to do the same thing with your thoughts. All right. So, give it the sheet we're working on. Here we go. All right. So, first thing I need to think about is where would I like to live in Auckland? You need to identify a suburb. So maybe you like the suburb you're living in right now. Maybe there's a other suburb that you want to live on. Maybe you want to live nearer the beach. That sort of stuff.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah, this is cool. For me, in my teacher example, I'm going to write the suburb that I am going to be moving to once my house is hopefully completed this year. And that is going to be Ormiston.
Well, that's where Rachel is. This.
O-R-M-I. So that is where I would like to live once my house is built. Ormiston, yes.
Where's Ormiston though?
Yeah.
It's eastish.
It's near Flatbush.
Yeah, it's near Flatbush. Okay, fine. All right. Okay. So, oi. I want to make sure you guys understand what you're doing with this, but you need to be quiet. All right.
I'm taking GI.
Next thing you can pick GI.
No, I'm joking. I'm never leaving GI.
All right. Next thing you need to think about is finding a location for your job. Now, multiple ways you can find a location for your job. You can use Google or you can use seek.co.nz. So if you're looking for something general, like you want to become a vet, a doctor, a mechanic, you can look for nearby locations and find like a veterinary clinic on Google Maps. That's your hypothetical job. If you're looking for something more specific, like let's say you want to do something IT work or you're looking for something in construction, I would suggest using seek.co.nz so you can find a company that is offering a job in a location. Seek.co.nz. It's on the paper. All right. So, for me, my place of work is going to be Edgewater College. Good choice.
Area 51.
Would you stay here?
Yeah, I'll still work here. All right. What suburb are we in?
East Auckland.
More specific.
Pakuranga.
There we go.
Pakuranga.
All right. Pakuranga. All right. Now,
Like that.
listening up.
Oi.
Come on. All right. So I have my location. I have where I'm working. I have where I'm living. What we're going to use is Google Maps to figure out the distance between those two places. So Google Maps, we will set my home as Ormiston. We'll just say the town center because I don't have an address yet. And we're going to set that as my starting location. And my destination is going to be Edgewater College because that's where I'm working.
That's pretty far.
All right, there we go. So we're looking at it driving-wise, and I can zoom up here to see what the distance is based off the map. So if I take this route, I'm about 8.9 kilometers away. So when I go from my distance under the teaching example, it was 8.9 kilometers. So that's how far away I live, or will live, from work, in theory. All right, keep going. Okay. Now, there are two things we need to think about when it comes to our work commute. The first thing is time cost. So how much time... There are two things we need to think about when we're thinking about our work commute. The first thing is the time cost. So how much time a day do I need to go to and from work, because time is precious. And the second thing that we are thinking about is monetary costs. So how much money would it cost me to get to and from work? That's going to then influence where we were going to potentially want to live or where we want to potentially work. So you might want to write some of these things down in pencil, because you might change your mind later when you realize how far the commute is going to be. All right, so if I'm looking at driving time, actually this is the one I want to zoom up on. Can I zoom up on that? Come on, computer. There we go. All right, so if I was driving from these two locations, how long would it take me? 17 minutes on a good day, 20 minutes on a bad day, could maybe be longer if there's traffic. Luckily, I'm a teacher, so I don't have to go during peak traffic hours, so I might just say about 20 minutes. So for my driving time, I'm writing 20 minutes. All right, let's see how long it takes me on public transport. Because, I want to be environmentally friendly. I want to think about, not driving my car every day. All right, so if I change my transit to public transport on Google Maps, how long is that going to take me? Almost a whole hour. So again, we're talking about time cost and monetary cost. So time cost is going to take me twice as long to get to work and twice as long to get home from work. In fact, a little bit more than that, because it's 48 minutes. So for public transport, I'm going to write 46 minutes. Let's say it's a good day. Bad day for driving, good day. Huh? All right, let's see how long it'll take me to walk. Let's say I'm being really cheap and I don't want to drive. I don't want to take public transport. I want to use my legs.
It'll take an hour.
An hour and 44 minutes. Do you think that's reasonable?
Yes.
Probably not. That's one way, too. That's not both ways. All right, walking time, 1 hour, 45. Should we see if biking's an option? Yeah?
Wheels.
All right. If I were to cycle, it's not too bad. That's about half an hour, 29 minutes.
If you bike slow.
Yeah, exactly. I bike very slowly because I am not good at getting up those hills. But maybe I will invest in an electric bike because that would help. All right, 29 minutes for biking.
There was biking.
All right, looking at these three options, what do you think will probably be the best option for me? Probably driving. But biking isn't too bad. 9 extra minutes on a bike. All right. Let's talk about transport costs. There is, again, another math error because I have lots of typos. Instead of 78 cents per kilometer, it's 28 cents per kilometer, so change that. I was like, that number does not make sense. Right, how many kilometers did I say I was going to be away from work? 8.9. So I would then do that calculation of 8.9 times 28 cents. And then I'm timesing it by 2 because I have to go to work and home. So round trip. So each day getting to and from work, it'll cost me about $4.45 in petrol. Roughly. Now, obviously, that number is going to fluctuate because petrol prices go up and down. This is just a rough estimate. Also, keep in mind that this doesn't include the other costs to cars, like insurance, maintenance, that sort of stuff. So this is just petrol. All right. Let's see how much it's going to cost on public transport. I know we said we're not going to do it because it's an hour, like what was it? Almost an hour. But let's just look because we're curious. So we're going to go to the AT website for this one. All right. So again, I need to put in some information. My starting information is, where am I living in? Ormiston. Let's see where it tells me as options. We'll say we're leaving from the police station just to make my life easy. I know. I live near the police station. This is just a rough estimate. Edgewater. Let's plan my journey. All right, here we go. So this has loaded up. Not only will it take me about 45 minutes to get to work, look at how many buses I need to take. 2, 3, 1, 3. Is that reasonable to take that many buses? No. And then I have extra problems with that, don't I? What if I miss the second bus? I have to wait. All right, let's see the fares. So the good news is, though,
56. You guys get.
I'm an adult. You guys have to do the adult one because you're working now. Pretend you're working. So adult fare right now is $1.10, which is subsidized because of, I think, all the pandemic stuff. All right. So $1.10 2 times, $2.20. So it's about half the price. So these are things you will need to think about. It is roughly twice as long for me to get to work on public transport, but it's half the price. So I need to weigh these options. What's the monetary value for me? What's the time value? There's other things on the sheet that I want you guys to think about, like pros and cons of biking and walking to work, and then making your choice on which way you're going to get to work. So let's say I do want to drive. That's the cost per day. I work 5 days a week, so that'll give me my cost per week. So 445 times 5. It'll cost me about $20 a week in petrol for me to get to and from work. All right? And then last thing is to justify my reasoning. So for me, I prefer driving to work. I can't see myself taking public transport because I'm a teacher and I often carry a lot of marking home. That would be really difficult to do on public transport. So that was part of my decision. All right. It is your turn. So. All right. There we go. All right. I want you guys to choose. I want you guys to research a place to live and a place to work. And then with that information, figure out the cost of your time and your money to get to and from work and make a decision on how we are going to get to and from work.